And welcome once again to. Oh, I just need to turn the microphone gain down. Actually, I just realised. Hello and welcome once again to Behind the Screen. It's the same show it always is. This is something like episode 36 every 2 weeks. I forget what number it is in the weeks between. Episode 5 of season 6. I want to say Scarred Lands, Frostlands, Ephemeral Stuff, People of the Snow. My name is Ryan, or Comrade Bubbles. I can be found on Twitter as Comrade Bubbles and on Twitch as Comrade Bubbles. I don't work for Onyx Path, so all of this is purely community content. I'm a fan that they have given the platform to. I'm just going to raise the angle ever so slightly. There we go. Just a fan they've given the platform to. I am technically disabled. I do experience muscle spasms, which can result in stuttering or slurred speech. I apologise, as well as a whole host of other problems that hopefully the camera won't pick up. And I do also struggle with multiple trains of thought, so if you raise a question while I'm halfway through one, raise a point, or ask a question, and feel free to ask questions, as it says at this side of my head. I will try to acknowledge that I've seen it, and then continue my train of thought, and then address yours. That's really it. Once again, this product will go up on the Sluretian Vault down here, kind of at the very bottom. The Sluretian Vault is the community content program for the Scarred Lands game line published by Onyx Path Publishing. Specifically, this uses the D&D 5e OGL. I know there's a Pathfinder variant. That's not what I'm working with here. That's mostly it. So before we get started properly, as ever, the Monday meeting notes are the best place to go for news, updates, project timelines, things like that for Onyx Path. Real quick rundown, as is my want. I just wanted to say as is my want, I'll be honest. The big news this week, today at 2 p.m. Eastern, so I think that's in about 5 hours. 2 books hit Kickstarter for Scion. Scion Masks of the Mythos, which adds the Cthulhu mythos to Scion, and Scion Dragon, which adds dragons to Scion. They're intended as like ways of expanding the core experience, which is why they're being done together rather than as a supplement. Like, here are some extra factions you can play with if the Titanomachy isn't really doing it for you and your band. You can back for both or one or the other, and there'll be text for both, as is usual. The art is pretty cool, etc., etc. Other news from Onyx Path this week. Virtual HorrorCon 2 with Gehenna Gaming is happening soon, so Onyx Path are involved in that. One of the... hello, TM Ronig. One of the Old White Wolf writers responsible for Changeling, the Dreaming Mage's Ascension, and Ravenloft unfortunately passed away recently, so there is a bundle of holding raising money for her partner to like medical bills and stuff, because her partner is also ill. I believe that bundle of holding gets you some sweet Changeling the Dreaming books, so check it out if you are interested, or if you just want to throw some money for charity, or not for charity, but to help someone get through these trying times. Also on Wednesday, Yugman's Guide to Gelspad goes live, the complete edition. This is something that specifically for Scarred Lands is important. So over the last year, every 2 months, a chapter from Yugman's Guide to Gelspad was released, and this is the complete collection. If you have 4 of the 6 chapters already, you'll just get the complete collection added to your account, otherwise you'll have to buy it. It's got some additional material and some clarifications, but largely it is what you've already bought. That's that. One of the artists Onyx Path has worked with is selling their art, so worth clicking through Monday meeting notes to find that link. The Kickstarter I've mentioned, again, 2 p.m. Eastern, which I believe is in about 5 hours' time. 4 hours and 45 minutes at this point. Several podcasts, the schedule for the week. Oh, look, there I am. Links to all the videos bar my videos, because these videos go up on my YouTube channel instead of Onyx Paths. A couple of books added to Studio 2 Publishing and IPR. 4 art books are now available on DriveThru Comics. I meant to check this out before the stream so I could say which ones they are, but I can just click the link now. If you are interested in the art of Mage 20, Werewolf 20, Changing Breeds, which I think was like a shape-shifting supplement for Werewolf 20 if you didn't want to play wolves but like other things, and the making of The Art of Children of the Revolution, a source book for V20, are all available. They're on sale price at $2.99 right now as opposed to $4.99. So if you're interested in classic like White Wolf art, or I guess classic feeling Onyx Path art, totally check those out. And that's really it, I believe. Just having a quick scan through the product development timeline. Some things are updated, most things are the same. Yeah, that's it. That's the Monday meeting notes in a nutshell. Hope you enjoyed. Right, so I touched on this, but I am with your assistance and thoughts. Creating a supplement for the Solution Vault, specifically to tie in with the Frostlands of Fenrilik release, opening up Fenrilik to the community. It's a player option supplement with a couple of player races. I might add some sub races. I've had some ideas I've been toying around with, but I might add those into like, hey, most of this was written on stream, but some of it's new, just to get those people who that might persuade. But I'm toying with an idea for a sub race for the S-Check, and maybe the Krampus. I think Krampek. Sorry, Krampus. What? So far this is player options, so subclasses and player races. I might do some spells. I haven't really decided yet. I probably won't, I'll be honest. So far we've done subclasses for the Barbarian, the Bard, the Cleric, the Druid, and the Fighter. The Fighter was last streams, which leads us to the Monk Way of the Hungering Soul. So as is again my want, I will read the narrative that drives this. Ignore the feature names in the tables. They are placeholders from previous subclasses I've written in Google Docs. I just copied the tables across. I will read the narrative for the subclass and then talk about what I want to do with it. So also I've got a couple of extra things to talk about with this one specifically. Life on Fenrilik is brutal, harsh, and eternally hungers for something, be it light, life, food, or companionship to stave off the madness of the eternal night. Monks who follow the way of the hungering soul have learned to master these needs and manipulate the ki of those around them to amplify or weaken the grip they hold. The people of Fenrilik believe these monks can peer into a person's heart and see the hidden desires within. So, kind of all well and good, right? Find out what the person you're encountering, whether it's combat or social, or exploration even, wants, and either make them want it more or make them want it less. The obvious way to handle this would be to use the charm condition. I am not going to do that because, one, it wouldn't give me anything to talk about. Two, I don't think it would add anything particularly interesting to the game. And three, the charm condition, or charmed, I should say, the charmed condition, much like dominate and like presence in Vampire, I really find problematic in a couple of ways. Mostly because it removes consent. Like, sure, most of the time you're going to be using them on NPCs, but for me, like if you're immersed in a world, even if it is an NPC, you're still going to have to ideally respect them as a person and as a character with their own, wants, needs, desires, what have you, and having the ability to just say, we're friends now, or you want me, just takes away consent. And obviously this is not going to affect the vast majority of people, but that could really upset some people who have been in positions like that, or who have had moments where their consent wasn't honoured. So I'm going to stay away from that and as a general note, please do respect consent at your table. Whenever I run a game for people I don't know, I do ask them to fill out a consent checklist to make sure that what we're dealing with in game won't upset them in any way. We're all here to have fun, not relive traumatic memories. So please do check if you're doing anything like this, or like Vampire, or acting in a way that might override someone else's consent or autonomy. Please do make sure that's okay. And if you are making community content, because that's what the show is all about, it's worth thinking about how what you're writing can, or if you're making your own role-playing games, it's worth thinking about how what you're writing could be like used to take power from someone else. Less of an issue in D&D, obviously, but the charmed condition does exist. Particularly in games with a social focus or characters with a social focus, it's worth considering from that angle. Okay, that's the serious stuff out of the way. I just wanted to get that out of the way at the top of the episode, so we can work on this now. So, monk, I guess back to basics. The monk class in Dungeons and Dragons is all about movement and using a resource called Ki to fuel their abilities, usually focusing on martial arts or spiritual practices. So the monk class, the monk subclass in the, up here, the monk subclass in the SRD, I believe, again, the SRD standing for System Reference Document, OGL being Open Gaming License. I think it was like page 75. Nope, too far. The monk subclass in the SRD, I believe, is Way of the Open Fist. Paladin. Way of the Open Hand, sorry. So Way of the Open Hand is exclusively dedicated to martial arts. So it's about becoming the best martial artist you can be. Generally, monks gain increased movement speed, the ability to communicate with the ki of others, so rather than spoken language like everyone else. A lot of kind of internal training stuff, so resist immunity to poisons and disease, I believe. The ability to resist the effects of others and kind of natural immunity to poison and disease. The immunity to end the effects of others, so you can end charm and frighten on monks can end charmed and frightened conditions on themselves. They get proficiency in all saving throws, ignore the effects of old age, do not have to eat and drink. So imagine the peak physical condition and multiply it by 10, and that's basically the monk's shtick. A lot of the subclasses, in fact all of the subclasses, give you new options to new ways in which to use your key points, and that's what we'll be using today. As part of that, I will be creating a new condition to trigger off of a couple of the class features. And I'll explain why I want to do that and kind of what I really want, ideally what I'll be doing with it. So I just need to pull up my example subclasses so that I can quickly ascertain the kind of thing that third level, etc. do, third level features and whatnot do. There will be a bonus proficiency involved for this monk subclass. I think mostly third level is like a upgrade to Flurry of Blows or a bonus action alternative to your unarmed strike. Yes. Okay. So we're going to go with bonus proficiency. inside. And then we're also going to go with Hungry Strike. And this will give us the condition that the other class features will trigger off of, ideally. For now, one key to inflict focused. I'm calling it focused and not like hungry for a couple of reasons. One, I don't want to tie it too like innately to this subclass. I want to have, hey, like you can have this condition for use in your own games if you want to use it for whatever reason. So I'll probably have like a sidebar or an aside design note, whatever you want to call it, saying that in some instances maybe you want to replace the charmed or frightened or poisoned conditions, and we'll get into that in a moment, with focused instead. Probably charmed or frightened, to be fair. So that's that, and then so yeah, third level usually just a way to I've got cracked skin. A way to modify flurry of blows or the bonus action to do an unarmed attack. Sixth level is, I think, broadly speaking, an upgrade to attacks, because I know sixth level base class is magical strikes. That I just couldn't think of the word magical. Your unarmed strikes count as magical for the purposes of overcoming damage resistances and things. So it's sort of an upgrade to that kind of thing, but more kind of narrative flavored. It doesn't have to focus on that. So I've got an idea there. I think at 6th level will be Piercing Mind. Detect Thoughts. Maybe also a Psychic Attack. Question mark. Haven't really thought that one out fully yet. Might be something like you can take advantage of the focused condition to deal a martial arts die worth of psychic damage. If you make a ranged spell attack or something. That's a possibility. Obviously, if you want to question anything I'm doing, please feel free to do so. Please do not assume that I know everything I'm talking about, because I really, really do not. A lot of this is just making it up as I go along. 11th level appears to be just key point expenditure to do something cool. Yes. I think I know what I want to do with this. Calm the Mind is not the right. Hungering Soul, Soothe the Beast. There we go. Key to remove Charmed, Frightened, or Focused. Fail Arrow 4, I don't feel comfortable saying yes to that, purely because this obviously isn't my channel. I don't know if you can even post links as a non-mod, unfortunately. If another mod shows up, specifically Plastic Age Plays, I guess, feel free to ask them. But as I don't, I moderate the channel for the purposes of this show rather than having a blanket knowledge of things like that. If you do want to share Homebrew for feedback, there is the Onyx Path Discord, and hopefully at some point Nightbot or Silicon Path will drop the relevant links to that, and obviously the Onyx Path Fora is a good place to get feedback as well. What was I? 17th level. Mastery of the Way. How would I reflect that? Because Charm of Frighten's gone. That's just monks can remove the Charm of Frighten condition on themselves. Mastery of your own hungering soul. Mastery of your own desires. I mean, mechanically, I guess change alignment, but not many people use alignment, and it really doesn't have that many in-game effects anyway. A couple of spells will trigger it. And I have seen the question, don't worry, TM Ranig. A couple of spells could trigger alignment, and some like weapons require certain alignments, and certain monsters take extra damage from certain alignments. So it's not really ideal. It could be like a small rider. 17th level, we should also be high enough to get over. Advantage on saves. That would be a lower level thing. I want to stay away from. Here, these are my desires. You have them now, because that again that removes the power of other characters. Tell you what, I'll answer this question while I'm thinking about it. Feels that the subclass could have some relation to the Sluritians or with the Titans, in particular Garruk, so I was wondering if something you had in mind when prepping it. Not particularly, as this is like a quote-unquote Fenric exclusive subclass. I mean, you can obviously use it in your Scarred Land games, wherever they're set. And the Titans War didn't really get there. I will, however, just check something, see if it spurs any creative juices. Where is it? There we go. I should also point out I only have the. If you like, I don't. If you think to yourself that you don't want to write for the Sluritian Vault because you don't have anything beyond the Scarred Lands player guide, don't let that stop you. I only have the player's guide and the Frostland supplement, and the player's guide doesn't really go into the Sluritians and all that much. I mean, I could tie them with Garruk quite easily, or Garruk, sorry, quite easily, or for like some extra flavor. Yeah, let's do that. Eternal Hunger. I'm just going to put steel class resource and then just go into further detail. I'll put that as a question mark as well. Go into further detail when I elaborate on the features. So that's all of the class features. I might split some of them up, obviously, where they've got two effects. So bonus proficiency. Oh, right. Headings, as usual, please use headings for anything like this. It makes navigation. Oops, daisy. That was the wrong heading. Much better. What was I saying? Yeah, the player's guide doesn't really go into detail on the Sluritians, if I'm being honest. Which is like I guess it makes some sense because it's not the focus of the player's guide, like the history of Skarn. They're just mentioned briefly. I've just put my thumb in my water as I'm trying to reach for the glass without looking. My tankard without looking, sorry. That was unpleasant and live for people to see. Joy Rapture. Okay. Form. From 3rd level, your understanding of the needs of others lends you a degree of insight, I guess, into their motivations. You gain proficiency in the insight skill. You already have. Proficiency in the skill. You may double your proficiency bonus for any checks that use it. So, if you don't have it, you're mildly insightful. If you have insight, you gain expertise, essentially. I'll probably reword that so it's more in line with the core rules as the player's guide says. But for now, that's what it does. Okay, so Hungry Strike. As a from, yes. Beginning at 3rd level, you are able to manipulate the key of others in order to force them to dwell on their innermost hungers. Whenever you strike a creature, you may expend 1 key point. I don't know why. I'm sorry. You may expend 1 key point. Creature must succeed at a wisdom saving throw. I believe the class already states the key save DC stuff. That's the wrong PDF. Where is it? Key save, like, yeah, that's fine. That's already mentioned. If they fail, they are subject to the focused condition, and then I guess I'll just do an tab is not the right one I want, so it's properly the correct formatting. Focused. Let's have your next turn. What was I going to do? Oh yes. Right. How do I even word this? You know what? I'm just going to. So when creating new mechanics like this, the best thing that you I'm creating a new mechanic just as a way of a new condition as a way of demonstrating how easy it is to make new mechanics. But 2, it's also just a way of explaining how to do it if you want to do it, and gives me something to talk about for a couple of minutes. Obviously, the easiest thing to do when creating anything new is to look at existing examples. I'm trying to find the list of conditions in the SRD, and the SRD I have doesn't have any bookmarks, which sucks. I think they're at the end, actually. I think they're in an appendix, because that's miscellaneous creatures. PHBC, planes, PHBA, PHBA, here we go. Okay, so I guess a focused creature is what is the wording. There we go, a focused creature. A focused creature has disadvantage on attack rolls and skill checks that do not help it I guess, complete its goal. Like, these are distractions. I'm not going to pay full attention to them, etc., etc. Now, obviously, you could make the argument that if you're fighting someone in combat and they're in your way, that fighting them helps you complete your goal, and that's a conversation to have with your GM, or DM if you prefer. The intention is that is not what happens in this case. And advantage on the same if they would help it complete its goal. It has advantage on wisdom, intelligence, and that's the wrong way around. Charisma saving throw. That's not even how you spell that word. Saving throws. That goes first. No one saw that, right? No one saw that. That never happened. Cut that from the video before I upload it to YouTube. Okay, so that's broadly in line with Stunning Strike, the core monk feature. I did not have much to drink this morning, and I'm suffering for it now. I do apologize for the constant drinking. But I gotta hydrate, right? Where are we? Rogue, Ranger, Paladin, then Monk. Please scroll faster. Please scroll faster. Please scroll faster. There we go. Hydration's good. Hey, Unstable Deus. It is good. Oh, it's until end of next turn. My bad. So this is basically just a copy of Stunning Strike, but with a slightly different effect until the end of your next turn. So, Piercing Mind. That's a 6th level feature, right? Yes, 6th level feature. When you reach 6th level, you are able to use your key to understand the thoughts of others. I believe this would be in this book. Yeah, largely it's two key points per level that the spell is. I believe Detect Thoughts is a 2nd level spell. Glabrezu, no, we don't want fiends. The magic items, I want spells, please. Spells, thank you. F, going through the alphabet backwards. Why are there so many spells beginning with F? And ironically, as E is the most commonly used letter of the alphabet, there are very few spells beginning with the letter E, and I believe that is a correct usage of the word irony. Detect Thoughts is indeed a 2nd level spell. No benefit for upcasting, so that's fine. So, for those of you who don't know, Scarred Lands and the SRD, the D&D 5e core rules, whatever you want to call them, uses spell slots to determine what spells you can cast. Certain spells get a greater benefit for being cast at higher levels, usually doing like more damage or more healing or affecting more targets. It was a valid use of the word irony. Excellent. Detect Thoughts is not one such is no such spell. You may use 2 key points to cast the Detect Thoughts. So the book always italicizes spell names, like all of the books. So it's just for style consistency. To make cast the Detect Thoughts. To cast Detect Thoughts without requiring hero components. If you target a creature with the focused condition. It automatically fail. Oops. Saving throw. So detect thoughts allows you to read surface level thoughts for free, essentially, and then there's a saving throw for probing deeper. If you choose to probe deeper. Now, this also does lead me to a problem. As written, focus lasts until the end of your next turn. It takes an action to cast the spell and an action to probe deeper, which means you have to cast the spell first, give them the condition, and then probe deeper, which, you know, might work, especially if you're using variant rules that give you the ability to attack with a bonus action. Is focused English spelling variant to focused? Oh no, I just for some reason always put a double S. I believe it's single S in British English and American English. It's just me being idiosyncratic and misspelling a word. Apparently it's a viable spelling, according to the Cambridge Dictionary. So there's that. Hang on, I might be using an adjectival form. Single S is much more common in the US, however the double S is sometimes used in the UK and Canada and is especially common in Australia and New Zealand. So there we go. I'm going to stick with the double S because it's what comes more naturally to me. Like with Traveller, I typically put 2 L's in Traveller, which is technically correct also. But then again, because I'm British, I'd spell anesthetic with, you know, the extra A with the diphthong instead of just the what? E or A. I know it's simplified in American English and like pediatrician and stuff like that. Anyway, language differences are great. They automatically fail the saving throw if you choose to probe deeper. As a bonus action, you may inflict a martial. So as this does require a lot of setup, you know, casting the spell, subjecting them to the condition. Yeah, as bonus action, you may inflict a martial arts die worth of. How to word this? You may roll your martial arts die. You may roll your martial arts die and add your wisdom modifier to the total. A minimum of 1. No, I think that's valid in the Snail Guide. To the total. And deal that amount of psychic damage to the target of your, say to the creature whose thoughts you are currently detecting. It's phrased that way because detect thoughts actually targets, it's a self spell, because you're giving yourself the ability to do it, and you can change whose thoughts you are detecting. And as it's an action to... Do PCs count as creatures? Yes. PCs count as creatures. Monsters count as creatures. I mean, technically, I guess there is an SR... Well, no, there's a DM's Guild supplement that gives you player race options for every monster in the monster manual, but those are all still creatures. Yeah. If it has a keyword, it's creature, essentially. When you're 6th level, you're able to use a key to understand thoughts of others. You may use 2 key points to cast detect thoughts without requiring material components. If you target a creature with a focus condition, they automatically fail the saving throw if you choose to probe deeper. As a bonus action, you may roll your martial arts design and your wisdom modifier, a minimum of 1 to the total, and deal that amount of psychic damage to the creature whose thoughts you are currently detecting. Do I tie that into the focus condition again and just say there's bonus damage, or no? I think... Oh, sorry, please do. Excuse that. I think we're good. I think that's okay. Everything is going to link back to this condition, otherwise what's the point in creating it? If you do, yes, I guess that's also a point. If you make a new mechanic, please do use it. Don't just use it once and then just forget about it. Otherwise, you're just overcomplicating things. This is something I've learned the hard way from homebrew stuff in my home games. Don't overcomplicate the game. If you're not going to use something, do not make it. Think of a way that you can do it within the game itself. 11th level. High 11th level, you have achieved a minor level of mastery over both your desires and the hungers. Let's tie it in. Let's just tie it in. Desires of others. Let's tie that in together. I just need to check something. Please do bear with me. It would be... Need to check the effects of a spell. I believe it's in the SRD. It would be weird if it weren't. Let's put it that way. Where is it? There it is. So I'm currently wondering if it's worth giving access to the Remove Curse spell. Because I believe by 11th level that is fine. Just going to scroll quickly, because I think it's just like a 4th level spell, 5th level spell. I've never used it, so I don't actually know. Sounds about right. I went too far. There we go. 3rd level spell. Oh, cool. Yeah. So that would be a 3 key point cost. Lesser Restoration won't really do what I want it to do, I believe. Again, here's I'm trying to figure out one way of using existing mechanics rather than making my own to simplify matters. Actually, Greater Restoration might do it. Exhaustion is the body hungering for rest, and you can lower that by 1. Charm and Petrify, Curses, ability score reduction, or 1 effect reducing hit point maximum. I might give... 11th level, you have 5th level spells, right? I believe that's correct. Hey, just give me to a spellcaster. Full spellcaster, please. Yeah, by 11th level, you have 6th level spells. So Greater Restoration would work, actually. Let's go with that. So that's a 5th level spell. You may spend 5 key points, which is half of your key points, I should point out. You have a number of key points equal to your monk level. To cast Greater Restoration without requiring the material components. Additionally, you may spend... It's just an action for yourself, right? To remove the... I keep opening the wrong window. I have like 4 windows open. I keep clicking on the wrong one for... Anyway, I believe it's an action just to end Charm of Frighten on self as a monk. Yes. So Greater Restoration removes Charmed. Let's take a leaf from the Bard's book. Additionally, you may spend 1 key point and touch a creature to grant them advantage on the next saving throw they make against the effects. Hang on, I've just used the wording from the Bard. That's a lot easier than trying to make something that works. Counter jump, here we go. Of being frightened or charmed. Cool. Make against being frightened or charmed within the next minute. Right, I should also tie in focus. Because focus doesn't, as it stands, there's only 1 saving throw against focused. Let's just say alternatively. Would Greater Restoration remove focused? Yes, I was just about to add that, but I'm glad great minds think alike. Hello, Brown, the Nat 1 digital artist. How are you doing? Alternatively, that creature may lose the focus condition without requiring the material components. The spell also removes the focused condition. There we go. Or should I just say, like, the focus condition is added to the list of conditions the spell can remove? Hi, what are you feeling, chat? Just add it as like it also removes this, or this is added to the list of things it can remove. Just so you are aware, I'll read what Greater Restoration does. Where is it? I went the wrong way. That's my bad. Scroll faster. Okay, you can reduce the target's exhaustion level by 1 or end one of the following effects on the target. 1 effect that charmed or petrified the target, 1 curse, any reduction to one of the target's ability scores, or 1 effect reducing the target's hit point maximum. When you cast Greater Restoration this way, you also remove the focus condition, something like that. Hey, that makes it that way. That's a lot easier than what I did. That was the wrong thing. Restoration, that's not a word I'm aware of. This way. Let's say you may also remove the focused condition. So I'm thinking of extending the duration of this condition. Stunned only lasts a minute because stunned is a really powerful effect. Whereas this is a double-edged sword. It could go both ways, but it does give you advantage on subsequent mental saving throws for its duration. So I might... I might A, specifically say a creature may voluntarily fail the saving throw, and B, extend it to maybe an hour. because then you can get like the focus condition on several creatures and take advantage of it. Let's say for 1 hour. As this is, of course, community content, if it can be easily changed based on feedback, although no one's left feedback on the only other thing I've got up on the Onyx Path community content side, so that was an adventure, so I'm not sure what feedback people could really provide. But hey, if you want an introductory adventure for Scion, it's there for 1 hour. That creature must succeed at a wisdom saving throw, which they may opt to fail. Semicolon. If they fail, they are subjected to the focused condition for 1 hour. Oh, hang on. No, it's just or. There we go. That's how the game handles it. You idiot. That creature. That's me, chat. I'm not calling you an idiot. That creature must succeed at a wisdom saving throw, which they may opt to fail, or they are subjected to the focused condition for 1 hour. I will probably have like a side note saying, please don't abuse this and say that fighting is always going to help them complete their goal. So that's all that. That is finished. Eternal Hunger. Right, so how to go by when you reach beginning and from. So at 17th level. You have mastered abilities, some deem. Second paragraph of Soothe the Beast is at the same time. Is it the same time of casting Restoration, or is it a separate action? Good point. Additionally, as an action, you may spend 1 key point. A lot of that stuff, like timing stuff, I'll pick up when I go through and like format it and edit it, proofread, whatever, for release. But thank you for. If you want to raise any questions like that, please do point them out. Obviously, I'm only one person. I do miss things occasionally. At 17th level, you have mastered abilities. Some deem Titanic. Dun dun dun. Interesting to see all this being created. Thank you, Kai Ren? Question mark. That was the idea of the show. Everyone's out there saying, "Hey, it's so easy to create community content," but no one's actually out there saying how to do it. Yeah. So this is not obviously the only way to do it, but I wanted to provide a platform where you can see it being written, to give you like ideas about how you could do it yourself, and also somewhere where you can freely ask questions about creating content or just GMing in general. I like to think I know roughly what I'm talking about sometimes. I feel like this should have a... What is community content? So you've got like the various Onyx Path rulebooks, for example, because this is Onyx Path's Twitch channel. So you've got Scion, Trinity Continuum, Scarred Lands, etc. And then Onyx Path, much like... we'll keep it on Onyx Path now. Onyx Path run community content websites where you can create your own like subclasses or supplements if you want. I've done adventures, I've done Homebrew Pantheon for Scion, and you can upload it to the community content websites and monetize them. because of the licensing required, like Onyx Path gets some of the money, but they're letting you use all of their material. Well, they're not all of their material. There is a list of material that you can use, of official material that you can use and kind of reference or call upon to like power stuff. I hope that helps. So, for example, this, yes, I could make all of this for any D&D 5e OGL compatible game line, and by all means, if you want to use it for non-Scarred Lands D&D games, go ahead, do it. Like, it should work. But hey, thank you for the resub, Solomon52. Because of the fact that this is Scarred Lands, this will be going up on the Sloration Vault, the Scarred Lands community content site. I can use Scarred Land spells, for example. I don't believe I've copied the ones for the Paladin over yet. I have not, but for, if I go up to the Cleric, Beacon of Hope, Holy Beacon, sorry. Holy Beacon's Answer are both Scarred Land spells rather than the spells from the D&D 5e SRD. So it gives you extra content that you can use, official content you can use, and you can use like official branding and stuff. And like particularly with the Sloration Vault stuff, I believe that the lead developer for the Scarred Lands line reads pretty much everything that goes up on the Sloration Vault. And there's a chance it'll get featured on the Onyx Path website as like, hey, this is a product that went up this week. Check it out if you're interested. It also gives you access to stock art and formatting templates and stuff, so it looks like a proper product, as opposed to my usual, here's some black text on a white background. Hope that answered the question, anyway. And the recently started playing D&D, currently making a second character. Hey, we all have to start somewhere. I'm on many characters, but that's because I make a load and never get to play them. It can be very hard to create community content on stream because of the content creator split attention. Yes, it is extremely difficult to do this. It does require juggling chat answers and writing and talking about thought processes and stuff, but I love doing it, so here we are. Help, thanks. You're welcome. I'm happy to answer questions. That is the point of one of the points of the show, as I say. Okay, at 17th level, you have mastered abilities, some deemed Titanic. I could just call it Gowrax's Hunger, right? I could just call it that. Like, it is community content. I have that possibility. Anyway. These are not key points. That is correct, because they're like master level things. You know what? That's how you spell it, right? Gowrock. Hang on. Gowrack, sorry. But it's pronounced Gowrock. Let's just call it what it is. I also haven't made any other reference to Scarred Lands stuff yet, so we may as well have like one, right? I mean, I will have in the play races, obviously, but oh, there's the Scarrow thing down here. And they're also, those are Fenrilic exclusive enemies. Anyway, at 17th level, you have mastered abilities some deemed Titanic. When you strike a creature, they do one of the following. And then this is a bullet pointed list, please. Gain temporary hit points equal to 1 roll of that creature's hit die. Give me a Plague Doctor style character, Alchemist, Artificer, multiclass into Warlock for Raven Queen just because Ravens sound cool with Plague Doctors. Hell yeah! That's a potent combination. I love good character concepts, and that is one of them. Gain temporary hit points equal to 1 roll of that creature's hit die. I guess it would be regain key points equal to the level of that creature's lowest remaining spell slot, it then expends that spell slot for no benefit. So that's creature's health, creature's magical energy. What if it doesn't have magical energy? What if it doesn't have spell slots? I guess like because I don't want to give you the usage of that creature's like once a turn ability. I could just say consume the creature's reaction. Yeah, let's go with that. Gain an additional reaction for this turn. That may only be used to make an attack of opportunity or one of the reactions listed on that creature's sheet/stat block, I guess, like, because it might be a player character that you're fighting. I don't know. Creature then expends its reaction for no benefit. How about making it fail a recharge check? Ooh, yes! Recharge, good idea. What would you take? What would that give you? Because I could just give it key points, I guess. Necrotic damage equal to a martial arts die roll. Because we've already got key points. I'm leaning towards necrotic damage equal to a martial arts die roll. Let's go with that. Deal an amount of specifically necrotic damage, because constructs are immune to psychic damage, and I feel this is more about like withering and stunning rather than like mind blasting, I guess. I guess I could say necrotic or psychic damage. Anyway, equal to a roll of your martial arts die, which at this point is like a d10 anyway. Do you want to be expends its reaction? Why would it be? Why would it have a capital? Not attempt to recharge any abilities it has until the... Oh yeah, it should be it, sorry. Thank you. Start of your next turn. Ooh, that's an interesting badge. Oh, GlitchCon, cool. So we've got health, spell slots, reactions, recharges. Again, like the last thing I can think of is like once a turn feature, you know, once a turn or like encounter or whatever features, rest, I guess. I guess it could just be move up to half your speed at something. Oh, no, stun it. Like Stunning Strike, but for free. Use your Stunning Strike class feature without paying the cost. If regardless of the success or failure of the action of the saving throw, that creature expends 1 how do we even word this? Like, this isn't, like, there's no previous examples of this that I can think of. Count as having used one of its, I think they're just like 1 slash, right? 1 slash turn. Yeah, that's probably the best way of wording it. Thank you. Loses 1 use of an ability that recharges at the end of a short or long rest. I would have got there eventually, just maybe not in so few words. Okay, so gain temporary hit points equal to roll. So when you strike a creature, you may do one of the following: gain temporary hit points equal to 1 roll of that creature's hit die. Regain key points equal to the level of that creature's lowest remaining spell slot. It then expends that spell slot for no benefit. Gain an additional reaction for this turn that may only be used to make an attack of opportunity or one of the reactions listed on that creature's sheet / stat block. That creature then expends its reaction for no benefit. Deal an amount of necrotic damage equal to a roll of your martial. Just specify to a single roll of your martial arts die. Creature may not attempt to recharge any abilities it has until the start of your next turn. Use your Stunning Strike class features without paying the cost. Regardless of the success or failure of the saving throw, that creature loses 1 use of an ability that recharges at the end of a short or long rest. Whenever you strike a creature, so monks strike creatures a lot, so I think I might do once per turn. Once per turn when you strike a creature. Oh, even better wording. Even better wording, because like there's precedent for multi-attacks. When you strike a creature for the first time on your turn, I prefer that. I prefer that wording, because it means that you can hit multiple things and inconvenience multiple creatures in ways, but still, for my benefit, I'm just going to alphabetize this. I think there's an alphabetize button in Google Docs. That's line spacing. There might not be, I guess. Curse you. Curse you. I'll do that some other time then. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so if you hit multiple creatures, you can do it multiple times. At 17th level, it's not going to make that much difference as well, but... Okay, so Wave of the Hungering Soul. Oh, I should probably have... I've focused there, focused there, focused there. I should probably do something with focus for this as well, just to have it involved in all of the You may inflict the focused condition on that creature and do one of the following. Now, obviously, a lot of the time, if you show one creature with one attack, you get set different effects for each creature hit. Yes, I think the intention is certainly yes. You may choose a different effect each time if you wish to. You may inflict the focus condition on that creature and do one of the following. That's the intention, anyway. I might... How would I even clarify that? I was just tidying that up. A lot of this stream, when I get to sticky situations, is just me going, I've noticed. I guess just in brackets, you may choose a different effect each time. I'm sure that's everyone's reaction. That's true, except I'm trying to keep like dead air to a minimum. Does that trigger anything on focused? Send is your reaction. I guess actually yes. Let's Okay, let's go with this. I'm gonna have to reword this the start of this feature a little bit, but change the focused condition to the stunned condition until the end. Sorry. Just realized you could take the path of the chain and get a second raven for your character. You could. So this changes the order of operations. You may do one of the following. Choose different each time. And then so that wording change just means that you cannot automatically stun a character. Now I've got two things using the stunning strike mechanic. Do I like that? No, I do not. Let's say, I guess automatically fail is kind of bad and also poor wording, but I want some obviously interaction with the with the condition that this entire class is built around using. Let's say that remove the focused condition. And prevent the creature from using an action, a bonus action, or moving. Because we've already got a reaction taken care of up there, but remove the focus condition and then choose that they state that they may not use an action, a bonus action, or move until the start of your next turn. So that's more like they just kind of lose their purpose momentarily and it stuns them, but without inflicting the stun condition, because that's already being used elsewhere. It also gives them ability, like reactions and stuff. Oh, I should also specify melee attack. When you hit a creature with a melee attack for the first time. Oh, whoops, that was the. For the first time on your turn. There we go. When you hit a creature for the first time on your turn with a melee attack. No, that. This clarification has made the wording difficult. Why do I do this to myself? When you successfully make a melee attack? Nope. Because if I put, when you hit a creature with a melee attack for the first time in your turn, that just means the first melee attack. That's what that wording is. When you hit a creature for the first time in your turn with a melee attack, it's also very similar. It's slightly more ambiguous, but it's not as clear as it could be. There's also a double space there for some reason. Again, a lot of is the intent also to also prevent triggering the ability on attack's opportunity. I didn't want to, because there's already an effect that's taking the reaction in essence. I didn't want to double up on the reaction being lost. So you can choose to take its reaction again, an additional one for yourself, or you can prevent it from using its action, a bonus action, or moving. What are existing examples like? You know, I'll just go to Stunning Strike. There we go. That will give me some idea of the wording at least. Again, back to pre-existing examples. Rogue, Ranger, Paladin, Monk. When you hit another creature with a button, yeah, it's just any way I can word this, it's going to make it sound like it's the first time on your turn. But I want it to be the first time you hit that creature. But like the first time you hit a creature with a melee attack on your turn just makes it sound like it's the first time you hit a creature, not every creature. And like once per successful melee attack is redundant wording. And I want the specification of melee attack because like it's harder to interfere with ki from range, let's say. Just thematically makes more sense. This is the only subclass we're going to get done today. Good lord. Or good Titan in this case. I mean, not good Titan. I mean, you may have your own personal feelings on the Glutton, of course, but anyway. The first time you make a successful melee attack against each creature, I think works. Just get that out of there. First time you make a successful melee attack against each creature on your turn. Does that work? First time you make a successful melee attack against each creature on your turn. Against a creature. But no, then that goes back to you can only do it once per turn, because the emphasis there is that the first time you're making a successful attack. And that's not what I want, but then each creature just reads very strangely. I think I might be overcomplicating this. You know what? I think I'm overcomplicating this. When you hit a creature with a melee attack on your turn specifically, I don't want this to apply to reactions. When you hit a creature with a melee attack on your turn, you may do one of the following. Oops, nope. And put the focus condition on that creature. Unless you have already used this class feature against that creature. Oh, class feature, sorry. Against that creature this turn. Because if I were limiting it to once, I would be like, hey, use a reaction, or just once per turn, or the first time you hit, etc. But I want to be every time you hit, you get a minor bonus. I might limit this to, like, you may only use this once per turn. You may only choose this once per turn. So get temporary hit points don't stack, so they'll just replace each other. Key points, like whatever, lowest remaining spell slots. A lot of GMs go through the high slots first, so you'll be getting like one at a time, 1, 2, or 3, I guess. One additional reaction per turn. Extra damage is fine. Stunning Strike I'm a bit concerned about, but it does have a saving throw, so they could succeed. And that ties it. They have to have the focus condition already, so it ties in. I think I'm okay with that. So, let's recap the class. So, subclass, sorry. Life on Fenric is brutal, harsh, and eternally hungers for something, be it light, life, food, or companionship, to stave off the madness of the eternal night. Monks who follow the way of the hungering soul have learned to master these needs and manipulate the ki of those around them to amplify or weaken the grip they hold. The people of Fenric believe these monks can peer into a person's heart and see the hidden desires within. I'm just going to small bit of formatting, normal text. This subclass introduces a new condition. Oops. Introduces the focused condition. Gotta go. Thanks for the stream. It was really interesting. Keep it up. Thank you, TM Rannick. Hope you can come back in 2 weeks' time. And then you just explain the condition at the start of the subclass. So bonus proficiency, insight, just as a way of understanding needs and motivations of others. I was thinking I could do something along the lines of. So a couple of subclasses, if you study someone for a minute, they let you kind of figure out level or AC or various ability scores and things like that. I did think about going that way, but that's very much, to some extent anyway, like training. This is all about atavistic needs. I think that's the right usage of the word atavistic. Like primal hungers rather than formal training. So I kind of ignored that a bit. Threw that to the wayside, sorry, and went on just insight, or you get expertise on insight if you already have it. Hungry Strike, beginning at 3rd level, you're able to manipulate the key of others to force them to dwell on their enemy's hungers. When you strike a creature, you may spend 1 key point. That creature must succeed at a wisdom saving throw, which they may opt to fail, or are subjected to the focus condition for 1 hour. This is just to set up the rest of the subclass. It does have, obviously, the minor... it does have the drawback and benefits thing of advantage and disadvantage, and does give you advantage on mental saving throws. So this could be... This is also like an out-of-combat support thing, because you can just touch like an ally, make them focused on what they're doing at the time. So it could help in like long-term projects. Piercing Mind, when you reach 6th level, you are able to use your key to understand the thoughts of others. You may use 2 key points to cast detect thoughts without requiring material components. If you target a creature with a focus condition, they automatically fail the saving throw if you choose to probe deeper. As a bonus action, you may roll your martial arts die and add your wisdom modifier, a minimum of 1 to the total. Deal that amount of psychic damage to the creature whose thoughts you are currently detecting. This is, in theory, evoking that, just building upon you're more aware of people's desires and hidden needs, and you can tap into that, and then you can kind of activate them in a way to deal that amount of psychic damage as like a bonus action. Do I want to... I don't think I'll give it a key point cost, purely because you get a bonus action non-armed strike that does Dex plus martial arts die. So this is essentially the same thing. You've also already spent 2 key points to cast the spell, and it is a concentration spell. So I think there's enough of a drawback with the requirement of Detect Thoughts being active to not need a key point cost to that bonus action ability. Soothe the Beast. By 11th level, you've achieved a minor level of mastery over both your desires and the desires of others. You may spend 5 key points to cast Greater Restoration without requiring the material components. When you cast Greater Restoration this way, you may also remove the focus condition. That removes Curses and Charm and Petrify and things like that. Petrify, less narratively appropriate, but like Curses, the hunger's going wild, that kind of thing. Additionally, as an action... so it's just a way of like resetting someone, essentially. Yeah. Anyway, additionally, as an action, you may spend 1 key point, touch a creature to grant them advantage on the next saving throw they make against being frightened or charmed within the next minute. Alternatively, that creature may lose the focused condition. Ah, yes. So. So 1 key point to give a creature for the focused condition, which gives you advantage already against the saving throws against those conditions, thinking about it. I might increase the cost to 2 key points, and then you can just remove Charm or Frighten. Yeah, let's do that. You may spend 2 key points and touch a creature. Remove the Charmed or Frightened conditions. Alternatively, that creature may lose the focused condition. I guess it'd be Charmed, Frightened, or focused conditions in that case. Happy with that. And then Galrock's Hunger. At 17th level, you have mastered ability Summon or/and/or. Ah, yes, of course. Yes, because... good point. Things aren't typically Charmed and Frightened at the same time, but Focus will stack. Galrock's Hunger. At 17th level, you have mastered the ability Summon Deemed Titanic. When you hit a creature with a melee attack on your turn, you may do one of the following. You may choose a different effect each time, and then inflict the focus condition on that creature unless you've already used this class creature against that creature this turn. I think that works. Still not entirely happy with it because you could make an argument that the unless you've already used etc. applies only to the focused condition, but at that point you're getting into rules lawyer territory, and that's annoying. There will be a link to this series anyway in the I guess on the copyright page where like special thanks and my bio goes, or in like an introduction section or forward. So I'll be like, for design notes to clarify the intention of certain features to prevent rules lawyering, please see these videos. Things like that. So I'm going to state for the record, if you haven't picked up on it already, you may use this class feature once per turn the first time you hit a creature, each creature, but there we go. You can use it multiple times, but only once against each creature. Gain temporary hit points equal to one roll of that creature's hit die, then loses that hit die until the end of its next long rest. Regain key points equal to the level of that creature's lowest remaining spell slot. It then expends that spell slot for no benefit. Gain an additional reaction for this turn that may only be used to make an attack opportunity or one of the reactions listed on that creature's sheet/stat block. I don't like that. I do not like that. Let us limit it only to an attack of opportunity. I'm not going to, because I'm not going to limit it to melee weapons or like prevent the full Warcaster feat. I'm just going to say to make an attack of opportunity. That creature then expends its reaction for no benefit. You may only choose this once per turn. Deal an amount of necrotic damage equal to a single roll of your martial arts die. Creature may not attempt to recharge any abilities it has until the start of your next turn. Use your Stunning Strike class feature that paying the cost regardless of the success or failure of the saving throw. That creature loses one use of an ability that recharges at the end of a short or long rest. Or remove the focus condition, prevent the creature from using an action, a bonus action, or moving until the start of your next turn. For each creature, the first time a successful melee attack might be another wording option. Ooh, that might be clearer. For each creature you target, I think just sounds better. Or would read better. No, sorry for reopening old wording wound again. No, this needs this has to be clear because it's going to be used. It should be used a lot. I have the time to figure it out anyway. For each creature, the first time you make a successful melee, I'm going to specify weapon attack as well. I could go further and specify the first time you make a successful melee attack with a monk weapon or your unarmed strike, but I think that's pushing it a bit too far. I'm going to put weapon there anyway. Oops, I should have copied that instead of dragging it. No, I'm being so like. What I had was better than what is originally there, but I'm just going to do this. You may use this feature on once per creature per turn. Because that's still limited to the number of weapon melee attacks you can use, and it's limited to being used once per creature. I think that's Get out of here, bullet point. I think that's better. I think. Because it stops this being an overly long sentence. And also removes the ambiguity about whether or not the focus condition is the only thing that happens once. Or I could just put once per creature per turn on a successful melee weapon attack. I think that's even better. Once per creature per turn on a successful melee weapon attack. Yeah, because that would be a subordinate clause. Let me do one of the following. Hey, you reopened it and I made it better, so thank you. I think that is where I want it to be. So in clear terms, once per creature per turn on a successful melee weapon attack. I mean, I guess that does kind of sort of imply reactions work as well, which isn't the idea. Or it doesn't say, like, you can't use. Once per creature on your turn? On a successful melee weapon attack? Or once per creature you successfully hit with a melee weapon attack. I know an attack of opportunity will be valid now. I don't want it to be necessarily, especially as you're getting a second reaction, potential of a second reaction to get another reaction, etc. Depending on how many things you're surrounded by. So once per creature in your turn does remove the reactions, because it's specifying your turn. I'm good with that. Again, this is, like, to me at least, a reaction. An attack of opportunity is, because it's like a single attack, it's more it's a reaction. It's not got the forethought and planning and maybe focus that the attack action would have, especially with monks getting multi-attack. So I don't think it should benefit from this. So limiting it to your turn and like your attack action and your bonus action is where I want it to be. Obviously, if people have provide feedback and they're like, "Hey, let us use it as a reaction," I might change it. And also, as ever, of course, like if a rule's not working for you, change the rule. I'm providing the basics. If you want to use it on reactions in your game, go ahead and use it in reactions in your game. Consider this permission, if you're watching this. So I think the wording wound can finally be dressed and healed. How the hell actions work exactly? Okay, so most common one, let's say, is the most common. It's almost certainly attack actually. You specify, so you say what you want to do. So I want to ready the attack action so ready is the action. Held isn't the thing anymore. Ready is the action that you take on your turn, and you specify which action you're readying. So attack, and then you specify the triggering condition, which means you might not get to use it. So usually it's like, I will ready the attack action, trigger being something comes through the door next to me, or something gets within range. And then you use your reaction out of turn. And I can see where you're going with this. But I don't want to limit it to the attack action, because monks also get the bonus action stuff. Flurry of Blows. I guess it would be readied with a capital R and an attack with a capital A. There we go. Once per creature on your turn, or readied attack action. It reads horribly, but I think that is the way it's handled, because they're both actions. You ready the attack action. Could someone tell me if that... Like, I'm just staring at words at this point. I think it makes sense. Once per creature on your turn, or readied attack action. I guess, or during a readied attack action. There we go. I think that wording makes sense. I think I'm happy with that. Hey, those of you who are watching this show for the first time, it's not usually this nitpicky, I promise. This is just a rare edge case where I wanted to do something with a very specific trigger and had no idea how to make the trigger usable and clear. And I believe this does it. I think this wording is good. If I come to it during editing and I'm like, I hate this wording, then it might not be good. But for now, I'm happy with it. I don't think I can get any better than that without just staring at the sentence for like 2 hours. And we have finished the subclass, so I think I'm going to start wrapping the stream up. So, what to discuss first? Myself. Let's discuss me first. Why not? If you have any lingering, no, we'll do the Monday meeting notes. As I mentioned at the start of the episode, the Monday meeting notes are the best place to go for Onyx Path updates. And in about 3 hours now, the next Kickstarter will be going live for Scion Dragon, which adds dragons as like a playable faction and antagonistic faction, I imagine. And Masks of the Mythos, which is the Cthulhu mythos, adds both of those to the game. You can back it for one book or the other or both, and there will be the extant, book text as it is without the art and formatting. Available as previews as usual. I'll almost certainly be picking those up. If you're here purely for Scardlands stuff, on Wednesday, the collected Yugman's Guide to Gelspad is released with some small additional material and clarification material. If you already have 4 or more of the 6 chapters released last year bi-monthly, the preview chapters, you will, I believe, be sent a link just for the full document for free. So that's cool. Monday meeting notes also obviously includes project updates and timeline stuff, links to media, podcasts and past videos on the channel. If you liked what you've seen here, but say missed the start of the episode and wish to watch it, if you are not a subscriber, which is very, very easy to do, you can click the subscribe button at any point. If you have an Amazon Prime account, you can link it to your Twitch account to get a Prime Gaming account, which gives you free in-game loot, but also a free subscription every month. That subscription is identical to a Tier 1 subscription for the channel, and you get access to, on top of just sweet emotes, you get access to the videos on demand for the channel a week before non-subscribers. This video will obviously be here for a week, until it gets deleted by Twitch, which is probably 60 days. But this series goes up on my YouTube channel, which is, you'll have to search for Comrade Bubbles. I'm not a YouTube partner. I don't have a custom URL. But this will go up next Tuesday, if not later. I'm historically very bad at uploading these on time. I do apologize for that. If you have any questions about content creation or anything you've seen on the channel or want to talk role-playing and stuff, I am on Twitter, at Comrade Bubbles. I'll answer any questions I can. I do also stream on Twitch, where I'll be going live in about half an hour's time. I play video games on my own channel with the occasional role-playing game every other Friday. That is also Comrade Bubbles. I'm always happy to talk shop while shooting Nazis, in this case, because I'm playing through Wolfenstein 2 at the minute. If you like this and you like D&D, and you are either playing D&D with some Scarred Lands material or Scarred Lands itself, and you just want extra player options or monsters, I do have a Patreon where I make 5e OGL compatible stuff. It is technically for my own homebrew setting, but it's compatible, so you can just move it over. There's a subclass for each class up there, as well as some goblins, some additional player race options, and that aren't necessarily compatible with Scarred Lands, but can hopefully provide some inspiration to help with player race creation, as well as some, if you can wait until the end of the month, some carnivorous plants, because carnivorous plants are amazing. But that is the Moonlit Bard. There is a link you'll have to search down Patreon. Actually, no, there's a link to it on my Twitter right now. I posted something yesterday relating to it. I don't talk about that much on this show because it's not an Onyx Path property, it's my own thing. But it is compatible, so if you are curious and interested, or just want more D&D material, if Scarred Lands hasn't given you enough, and it should, there's a lot in Scarred Lands book, highly recommend it if you don't have it. For the spells alone, there are also spells on Patreon, but for the spells alone, Scarred Lands is a good purchase. And spells and subclasses. Highly recommend it. This stream is bi-weekly, or fortnightly if you prefer. So the next time I'll be back, in theory, is the 2nd of February, where I will start the Paladin. I might try and do the tenets beforehand. When I made the Arcane Aegis Paladin, I really struggled with the tenets, so I might do that beforehand if I find the time. But hopefully we'll be able to do the Paladin and get onto the Ranger next time. I'd like to get back to 2 per stream, just so I can get this done in a timely fashion before the next release. But who knows? And as long as you're enjoying it, I'm happy to keep making this content. I think that's all from me. As I say, if you have any questions, feel free to hit me up on Twitter or Twitch. I will be in chat for a couple of minutes after the stream as well, while the post roll happens. So if you do have any specific questions for this, feel free to ask. I think that's it. So before I switch over to the post roll, which will tell you where everything, like the upcoming schedule, please do, in these trying times, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay wholesome. Thank you for watching.